Can you pray while you're walking? What does it mean to pray from your bed? And why did Abraham, Joshua, John, even the angels in heaven respond to God's presence by prostrating themselves before Him? These aren't just different ways to pray. Each one reveals something remarkable about our relationship with God. And by the end of this Bible study, you may never look at these prayer postures the same way again. In Part 1, we explored the first 5 prayer postures found throughout Scripture. Today, we'll uncover the final 3 and discover what they reveal about the heart of every believer. Let's begin. Posture 6. Walking. The posture of continual communion. Have you ever had a conversation with someone while walking together? Sometimes the deepest conversations don't happen across a table. They happen side by side. The Bible reminds us that prayer isn't limited to a church building or a prayer room. It can become the rhythm of everyday life. One of the greatest examples is Enoch. Genesis 5 verse 24 simply says, "Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away." Imagine that. His relationship with God was described as a walk. Not a single moment, but a lifestyle. Sometimes prayer happens while we're working, driving, walking, or simply going about our day. Paul captures this beautifully in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17. Pray without ceasing. He wasn't telling us to stay on our knees 24 hours a day. He was inviting us into a life of continual communion with God. Now here's the viewpoint. Some people separate prayer from everyday life. They think prayer only happens during quiet time. But Scripture paints a different picture. Prayer isn't only something we do. It's a relationship we live. Walking says, "Lord, don't just meet me here. Walk with me every step of the way." Posture 7. Lying down. The posture of trust and rest. Have you ever been so exhausted that all you could do was whisper, "Help me," before falling asleep? Many believers feel guilty about praying in bed. They wonder, does God still hear me if I'm lying down? As we discovered in our previous study, the Bible never forbids praying while lying down. In fact, David wrote in Psalm 63 verse 6, "On my bed I remember you, I think of you through the watches of the night." He also declared in Psalm 4 verse 8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." David's bed wasn't just a place of rest. Sometimes, it became a place of worship. Now here's the viewpoint. Praying while lying down isn't wrong. But neither should we let comfort replace commitment. If you're lying down because you're weary, God understands. But if you're avoiding prayer because you've grown spiritually lazy, that's a different issue. Sometimes God calls us to wrestle in prayer. Other times, He simply invites us to rest in His presence. Lying down says, "Lord, I trust you enough to rest while you remain awake." Posture 8. Prostration. The posture of complete surrender and holy awe. Now we come to perhaps the most powerful prayer posture in the entire Bible. Prostration. Unlike kneeling, or simply bowing your head, prostration means to lay yourself completely before God. Face to the ground, body stretched out, nothing held back. It is one of the clearest outward expressions of complete surrender found in Scripture. We first see this beautifully in Genesis 17 verse 3. When God appeared to Abram and confirmed His covenant with him, Abram fell face down and God said to him, before Abraham received one of the greatest promises in history, he first humbled himself before the God who made it. We see the same response in Joshua 5 verse 14. When Joshua encountered the commander of the Lord's army before the battle of Jericho, Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence. Notice what Joshua didn't do. He didn't begin discussing military strategy. He worshipped. Before God fights your battles, He often reminds you who is truly in command. And then we look into heaven itself. The Apostle John had walked with Jesus during His earthly ministry. He had leaned on His chest at the Last Supper. But when John saw the glorified Christ in Revelation 1 verse 17, he wrote, "When I saw Him, I fell at His feet as though dead." Even more remarkable is what happens around God's throne. Revelation 7 verse 11 says, "All the angels were standing around the throne. They fell face down before the throne and worshipped God." Think about that. Sinless angels, beings who have never rebelled against God, still fall before His holiness. Not because they are forced to, but because He is worthy. Now here's the viewpoint. Some people think prostration belongs only to the Old Testament. Others reserve it for moments of intense worship. The Bible doesn't command believers to pray this way every time. But it does show us something unforgettable. Whenever people caught a glimpse of God's overwhelming majesty, their pride disappeared. Sometimes words were no longer enough. Only worship remained. Prostration says, "Lord, you alone are worthy. I surrender everything to you." So, which prayer posture is the right one? Walking with God, lying down in trust, or prostrating yourself before His holiness? The answer is simple. They all have their place in our relationship with God. But remember this: the power of prayer has never been found in the position of your body. It's found in the posture of your heart. God isn't looking for perfect posture. He's looking for people who sincerely seek Him. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which prayer posture has been the most meaningful in your walk with God? Let me know in the comments below. If this Bible study helped you understand Scripture more deeply, please like this video, subscribe to the Bible Tunnel, and share it with someone who wants to grow in prayer. Until next time, keep seeking God, not just with the posture of your body, but with the